Yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Me and Toot, we about to walk off. You see him, my boy Toot, back on camera. We about to walk off at Home Depot's, man. We got to get a little something, so we can go ahead and get this motor jumping. So we got this little project we gonna put together, and we gonna prime our oil pump or just the motor itself all together. So y'all make sure y'all watch real close now. Gonna grab us a little buggy. We get one right here from the end. Then we gonna walk around and see how much our little pesticide bottles and stuff is. So I'm guessing lawn care is over here. Let's start over here too. So we gonna create a little device, and I'm not gonna take credit for it because I saw it all on YouTube before I decided to make one myself. But it does work. So I would much rather to try this than to start putting this engine together and end up having the engine to lock up. So what we are gonna start with is, and we're gonna get Toot to grab that for us. We're gonna start with one of these right here. Show them what we got, Toot. We're gonna start with our multi-use sprayer. And this is 1 gallon. Right here, they actually have the 2 gallons for 14. The 1 gallon gonna work for us for right now. So I think the 1 gallon gonna work for us for right now. What you think, Toot?
For $5 extra, we could get another gallon. $5 extra, we could get another gallon.
Okay, so Toot said we're gonna go with the 2 gallon. So let's see. I tell you, we're gonna debate on this. For $5 extra, we can get another gallon. That means that we can pump more oil into the system, but we really only need 2 quarts into the system before we get it into the pan. So we're just gonna stick with the $9. $9 at Home Depot, and you can see it right here. This is what we're using. So we're gonna walk over here to the brass fittings. Get us some pressure washer cleaner after a while, man. Me and Toot gonna find us a nice little trailer. Get ready for summertime, man, you know. So what we gonna do, we're gonna get us a container. We're gonna pull up some of these car shows, and we're gonna be pressure washing cars. You gotta make money in order to spend it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pressure wash cars to actually make our money. To help us with our project. You gotta excuse me for pausing, because I'm actually just walking and looking. This is actually my first, well, it ain't my first time inside Home Depot, but trying to find these little fittings and stuff. Turn the camera back on for y'all in a few minutes. Okay, so me and Toot hit Home Depot's, and this lady came in here and checked on us. But we hit Home Depot's. We found this. So we're gonna go to the parts store and make sure we got the right fitting to go inside of the oil galley. Because we don't want to strip out any bolts at this point right here. So we're gonna stop at a local parts store and check on that, and then we'll stop at Lowe's and see what we got going from there. So y'all stay tuned. Yo, y'all see I had to come home, break out the tools for a second. Wanted to get that little adapter so I can make the tool to feed this oil, but I needed to know what was the right size threads and all on that, man, because I don't want to be sitting there putting any threads in there and then strip it out. So came home, took one out of the 5-3 block. Also, instead of twisting around and everything else, kind of glad I had that 5-3 block, because I got my bolt for my cam sensor now. So we'll throw them on the block a little later on. Right now we're gonna run back out and see if we can get this right here. That way tomorrow we can start plumbing this thing and getting ready to pump some oil into it. But tonight I'm gonna go ahead and gather these parts up, and I'll show you how we gonna make this thing. So we can go ahead and get that made, and then tomorrow, if the Lord's will, we'll go ahead and we'll be ready to work. So put these tools right here up, and we're gonna run back to the parts. So y'all stay tuned. So YouTube, we made a little move and went to the parts store, or I made a little move and went to the parts store. Hit O'Reilly's up. Went to Lowe's earlier. Our Lowe's here closed at 8 o'clock, so I had to hit O'Reilly's up, get a couple of fittings, PT fittings, so that we could actually put this little, just kind of like oil feeder together, or oil engine primer together. Just gonna show you guys how to prime your engine. That way your first starts, you already got oil into the engine, and the engine is actually ready to turn over instead of you turning everything over dry. Even though I know a lot of y'all probably say, well, hey, you know, you put the lube on the engine, or you put the lube on the internal parts or whatnot before you or while building it. That engine still wants to see or feel oil. It wants to be lubricated. So if you're sitting there turning it over, and you're not getting any oil pressure, you know, you never know what you could be damaging like right away. So with that being said, when I get to the house, I'm gonna show y'all guys what parts I picked up from O'Reilly's. So y'all stay tuned. Okay, YouTube, we back at the crib. Where I am, as you can see, sitting on the floor inside of my office that I need to really clean up and get it together. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I got car parts all over the place. Still got the door panel parts in here. I need to hit that. It's supposed to be 70 this week, so I'm gonna try to get out and go ahead and get some of this stuff out of this house. Go ahead and get most of it onto the car. But let's go ahead and get on to what we got going on. So we went out and, excuse me, the first thing we bought, because we are about to prime the engine, is oil. So I got some 10W30 oil. You can get whatever oil you want to get. I know people go get Rotella, what is it? Purple, whatever. It's to each his own, man. Whatever you want to get to put in your engine is your engine, man. I've seen people put the best in their engine and still blow their engine. So this is the thing. But the big question is, when they put it in, did they prime the engine? That's the key. So as long as you got oil in that thing, you got that thing primed up. I don't even know what's going to happen yet when I crank old Relentless up. So yeah, we got some oil, so I will sit that to the side. Of course, I did show y'all this guy inside of the store at Home Depot, so we did buy it. Turned around and move this over to the side a little bit. I dismantled everything. Well, some of the stuff came dismantled anyway, but like all of this stuff here, dismantled this right here. Unless I buy another hose to hook up this thing, we probably won't be getting any use out of it, to be honest with you. So I just went ahead and I'm just gonna sit this to the side in the box, along with some other stuff. I already took all of this thing. I'm just going to show you this first. So I'll sit everything off to the side over there. This thing does pump up, of course. It's usually used for spraying pesticides and just whatever you want to, watering plants, cleaning porches, putting cleaners and all that stuff in it. But the main thing I want to show you is this hole was not here. This hole was actually plugged with this little plastic piece. I actually pulled that out before I went to the store. Reason being is because the way we are gonna make this work is we are gonna actually use our tube here. This is our feeding tube that actually goes down inside of the tank. So I have to excuse my background noise. So this is how you get the air in, right here. So we have a feeding tube that came with it. We're gonna actually use the feeding tube that came with it. And what we will do, or what I will do, is I would actually, I'm gonna end up locking this down a little later on. More than likely putting some of my Autobahn glue on there, so I could make sure that all the air comes through, or it's locked in there. Well, it seems like it's locked in there pretty good now, to be honest with you. Just looking at this hose, you wanna make sure when you making this thing, you know what I'm saying, your hose actually is not laying flat on the bottom. Because if your hose is laying flat on the bottom, then you're not gonna get good suction of the oil. But right now, I'm just showing you guys how to make this thing. So you can see right here on this end, I could have went with a NPT fitting to actually go inside of the block. But what we're gonna do with this is show you some part numbers and all. We actually got a fuel line fitting right here, which is a 1/4 to 5/16. This is a 1/4 to 3/8 right here. Open this case up so y'all can see what I got going on, man. Show y'all some part numbers. So that's what we got going on with that. I can put this stuff down in the description so you can see right here. That's the part number for that. Set this aside. Our fuel line fitting with the barbs on it. This is our part number for that. Set that to the side, and what we will do is this barb fitting is gonna go here. So I'm just gonna firmly tighten, or not tighten it up, but firmly screw it in now so I can actually show you what we have going on. This end of the block, or this end with the threads on it will go inside of the block where you will be priming the engine at. With that being said, what I decided to do was, oh yeah, and there's no use on priming your engine if you ain't got an oil filter to go with it. So we're gonna go ahead and slap the oil filter on this thing. That way we'll have everything, you know what I'm saying, in motion, ready to go. So set the oil filter off to the side. Oil filter I went with was little store brand oil filter, little house oil filter from O'Reilly's. Y'all can get any kind of oil filter y'all feel like y'all want to get. Always got some. Also got some tire valves. And you probably wondering what the tire valves are for, but we're gonna get into that. So with that being said, I'm gonna stuff all this stuff into my handy dandy box over there that this came out of, and this fitting right here will actually be able to go down into this hose, as you can see. But one of the things I want to do with this because I just wanted to see if it was gonna fit. So with that being said, reaching over to my tool bag, what I'm gonna do is get me a nice little pair of cutters. And I know y'all probably looking like, no, you just got that, but gotta cut it. So we cut into our holes right there. Reason we are cutting into our holes is we need to get this barb in here. And I should have got some clamps to go on this. I grabbed some tomorrow. But whenever you do this, just remember, you know, you get your clamps so you can tighten these down on here. You probably want to know why I cut this or why didn't I cut it on the end. My main concern is knowing that I do have oil flow coming from my actual tank. So with that being said, I got me a piece of Tygon tubing. This is another reason why I said you should get your clamps and put this on there. We'll actually push this in all the way on. And what I'm gonna do for now is I'm gonna try to butt them all the way up, as you can see here. So there you go. Now, the reason I did this is because, like I said, once I start feeding oil into my engine, I want to make sure that I got oil coming out of my tank through this hose into the engine. There's no, this right here is hard to see through. So to me, it would be like a waste of time for me to, you can hear it, but I want to be able to see it. So I could still take this right here and attach it to this end of my barb here, which will be on the engine. And this will get a nice little tight fit. I'm just gonna push that half the way on there for right now. And you really want it as tight as you can get it. If you can get it as tight as you can get it, then you'll be pretty good. But I will still actually get me some clamps and tighten that up so you don't have any oil leaks or whatnot coming away from your line, or any pressure, any air leaks or anything. So now what you have is this. So with that being said, your tank is pretty much done. For the most part, it is pretty much done. You can actually install your actual hand pump. And if you want to use this hand pump to actually try and get the oil in there, to each his own. You don't actually have to pull this piece away when you buy it. If you don't have an air compressor, you do not have to pull this piece away when you buy these reservoir sprayers. Just leave it like it is, and you can just pump air into it. It's still gonna build up pressure. It's still gonna push your oil through your line and get it to your engine. Now, with that being said, what I will do is sit this off to the side. The main part of this build, if you really thinking about speeding up the process and actually getting the oil in just a little bit quicker and being able to multitask, is to get you some nice pressure in there. Now, the thing about getting pressure into this container is you have to be able to monitor it. So what I'm not showing you right now is you will, or you might want to take right back there where your oil pressure sensor is at. You might want to sit you a gauge up there just so you can kind of check to see where that pressure is, and you know whether or not that oil is actually going into the engine or whatnot. What I did was I got some tire pressure valves or tire valves. What I will try to do is I am going to try and drill out this little piece that actually goes right back in here, and it screws in to this piece right there. I'm gonna try and drill this out and see whether or not I can get me some room. If not, then I'm gonna have to try something a little different. So, dig into our tool bag. Of course, you know, I always say shout out to Harbor Freight Collections. So we're gonna use our little impact to get in that for right now. If you don't have an impact, you don't have any drill bits, you can use a razor blade, a knife. Just make sure you put it down on a hard surface. Put you some gloves on, some eye gear, and be safe for the main part. So I actually have a toolkit that I got from Walmart. You see me using this all the time outside. So I'm gonna look inside of this and see what we can actually use to open up this hole just a little bit to get the tire pressure valve in. And we actually have an option of tools at the moment that may work. One of the things I'm gonna actually try, and I know y'all probably looking like, I just call these right here hole cutters. I don't know what the particular name or what you would actually call them. But this right here is a 1/2 inch, as you can see. So I'm gonna take this 1/2 inch, put it on my impact, lock it in, grab me a battery. And not only will I grab a battery, I'm gonna grab me some pliers so I can actually open this thing up just a little bit right here. I'm gonna turn it around this side just a little. Let's see if we can open it a little bit more. That way when we close it, we can get some bite. All right, so we could barely get bite on it, but we do have enough to the point to where we can actually hold it and it's not moving. So we're gonna try that. So I'm gonna put my battery on my drill, just so I don't make too big of a mess. I'm gonna take my plastic and kind of sit it right here up under that. Let's see if we can grab this on some corners, that way we don't actually damage our screw. And what I will do is I will start slowly. So I can see chunks of plastic coming out now. All right, with the chunks of plastic that I got out, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we got that hole in there. Will it work? We don't know. So what we are going to do now is push that valve stem up in there, nice and snug, and see, will it seat? And there's enough pressure on that right there to the point to where that valve stem's actually seated in there. So just that quick, you can see it. Valve stem is seated in there Nice and perfect. Okay, now, you can see right here where I collected all my plastic pieces that came off of my actual piece that came off of the can. So, with that being said, keep a trash can nearby. I can go ahead and break this drill back down right quick. And put that back in place. I love to keep my tools together. That way when it's time for me to actually work, I can go right back to where they supposed to be. So drop everything back in the bag right there. Auto bond glue I was telling you guys about right here. Ordered this off of eBay. Right here, it actually comes with the glue and it comes with the activator. So what I'm about to do now is just reassure myself that this actual tire stem will stay put. So what I'm gonna do is, and I might need a little bit of persuasion on this part, because that is not working. So let's try this again. Okay, so we have something. I'm not gonna be stingy with it, as you can see. Okay, so got my Autobahn glue on there. And what I will do, put that plastic bag right there. What I will do is I'll take this and make sure I am properly pulling it the right way. And I am going to pull this back in place. Right there on the bottom. Now see, with that being said, my only concern about that is right around the bottom right here where my threads are at. I need my threads clean so I could actually get this thing to screw back on there tight. So with that being said, I think that may work right there. So grab your Autobahn activator and you can just hit it a little bit. There's some cracks. Y'all probably can't see the cracks right there. I kind of spray some down in there. But that's it. The thing I love about this Autobahn glue is it doesn't take much. I bought it for interior purposes. So now you can see where I think you can see where it's kind of frosty white right here. This valve stem is going nowhere. So now we actually have a valve stem on there. Back to our tank itself. So once we go back to our tank, the thing about the tank is now we can actually take this valve stem piece and we can actually go back to screwing this piece in there the way it came out. And the thing about this is taking that out was just a tad bit of a headache due to the fact that it was in there like super tight. But other than that, so we take our grip pliers and turn it. As you can see, I'm putting a good bit of pressure on that. Just trying to make sure I got it locked in there is my main thing. Okay, so I'm content with that. Now, with being content with that, there you have it. We have our oil pressure feeder for our engine. So you don't have to run around here dry starting your engines anymore. Like I say, this is just your normal multi-use sprayer, little NPT barb fitting, you know what I'm saying? Your piece that actually goes inside your engine. Each engine might be different. I'm working on the LS engine, so this is the piece that actually screws inside of my block. I took the screw out of my 5.3 block, took it with me, matched it up, and voila, there you have it. So you can actually take your air compressor, if you're going to work with an air compressor, and you can put your air compressor on here. Just put you a little bit of pressure in there. I'm guessing about 20 to 30 psi. You don't want to go too high. You got to think about it. This is still plastic. You still have threads in here, threads in there, threads on the top. You put too much pressure on this thing, and I won't say it will officially explode, but you know, too much pressure with you just sitting there and letting the air compressor run constantly. I wouldn't try that. I wouldn't recommend it. So there you have it right there. We're going to see how this thing right here actually works tomorrow, but let's listen to this right here for a second and see. See if we can build some pressure up on this thing. We have pressure. Y'all see it, man. Your boy Rich Everything, man. Homemade oil or motor oil, whatever you want to call it. Oil, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to call it, man. I'm just showing you guys some nice little neat tricks that you can actually use when you're building your engine to get this stuff right here. And this is probably about, I think I paid like $9 for this. The line came with it. And then your little barbs here. Of course, you can probably find you a tire valve stem sitting around someplace. I actually bought this one right here for the store. You could probably get them for like $1, even cheaper than that. Just go to your local tire shop and ask them, can you have one? I mean, it's just that easy. And then, you know, for the rest of it, you don't actually need your auto bond spray. You can use crazy glue. You can use hot glue or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, there you have it. You know, if you want to see any other videos on how this thing actually works, what I would do is I will put a video down in the description of some other people who have tried this method to prime their oil pumps or prime their engines and get the oil into the engine before starting it, so you don't have to actually go with the dry start. But hey, what do I know? Your boy Rich _everything. You can find me on Instagram, man. Get down in the description. Check the next little site out and see how this thing right here work. Push that like, push that subscribe, man. Let's get back to work on old Relentless. Hey, what more can I say? Except I'm out.